Good afternoon, everyone. We are finally in the final season of my American Horror Story What If. So, this finale is a combination of two episodes, episode 9 and episode 10. Now, this finale focuses on season 2, season 3, season 6, as well as season 8. The reason why I'm connecting these seasons is because throughout the American Horror Story run, from Murder House all the way up to NYC, we saw some very spectacular characters, but there is no characters that I could better define hierarchy than these 4 characters. I will be explaining each character and the what if, which will give you guys a better explanation of giving a introduction to the hierarchy of gods or some sort of entity that plays that role. In season 2 of American Horror Story, titled Asylum, we saw one character that emerged out of there. While all we were seeing the representation of aliens as gods, the actual entity of a benevolent entity or an angelic entity, such as the Angel of Death from season 2, which is titled the Scourge, but it is the Angel of Groundbreaking. Basically, on your break of death, she's able to arrive and takes you away. Basically, she sweeps you off your feet. Her job as like the Angel of Death or even Grim Reaper, not a lot of people could see her because her actual looks will probably terrify people. It played by the great Frances Conroy. She brought this character to life, and I think that's a character that a lot of people forgotten about, because her ability to one drop of a kiss will take your life away. And she only comes when it's similar to Papa Legba, but she comes when there's tragedy or sadness or when there's a death to carry on to the next world. And her ability is pretty powerful to not be even seen. Whereas the witches could see Papa Legba and they could interact with him like that. But I think she exists in a different type of plane of appearance or energy. And if we could see an Angel of Death, then that means that there's also an actual God in the American Horror Story universe. I've been thinking about that for a while now, because throughout the years of American Horror Story, we've got to see more of the horror aspects or the evil spawn of the devil and all that stuff. But at the same time, we saw that they never introduced even though we know that witches sometimes they could be good because of where they draw their power towards. But at the same time, we could also mention that this is where she can be ultimated as well. If you look into the second case, Papa Legba is literally a deity Loa, and it is very deep into the New Orleans culture as well as the Haitian culture. But at the same time, he is like the gatekeeper of the underworld, and he could also make deals. Now, the abilities that Papa Legba possess is that he could literally alternate time and walk into time and space, and 1 hour may be a century or more in the real world. We even saw that took place when he walked into I think it was what's her name? I think it was it Madison or one of the witches, even Nan, or even Gabrielle Sidibe's character. She even went to like the she did divination, and then out of that we saw Papa Legba literally emerge out of it and literally did everything he can to conquer. Another character I want to add before we start merging their storylines together is we're going to talk back with the Scavenge. In this scene, we know that they mentioned that the Scavenge ran away from the boat that she came in and landed on the Roanoke lands. And I guess she did like the 7 wonders on the boat. And we saw how she emerged so fluently. And we know that based on what Ryan said, she is the first Supreme, so we must not take her too lightly. I did also mention I made a whole video on episode 8 and 7 about the 2 bloodlines of the series. The Hawthorns and the Robichaux are actually the children of the Scavenge, and that throughout the scenes of season 6, we never know what she was showing to Leslie Jordan character that was looking for Priscilla. We saw he was staring at something and he was completely shocked about what he was seeing. And I believe that with all of this, we could conclude that the Scavenge, to be considered as the first Supreme, also means that she could probably be one of the most powerful, or the powerful, witches of all time, which will make her more closer to like a deity figure in the American Horror Story universe, because her bloodline goes all the way down to more than eons. Looking at the 1500 up to now, that's like a whole eon or millennia ago to see that happen. And she predates a lot of people in the American Horror Story timelines. So I believe between the Scavenge, Papa Legba, and the Scarfax, all those 3 characters are kind of like the deities of the universe. Another character that I think they should really expand on, even though we saw her in Apocalypse, was Mallory herself. We know that Mallory has literally the ability to literally change, I would say, rechange or alternate events that in her favor. Even when we first saw Mallory, how she dressed, she looks more like an Olympian god witch or some sort of Greek type of deity. And they even showed glimpses of this in season 8 that, I even thought that she was going to be an angel that was sent down to destroy Michael because of everything that happened. Even the abilities that she did at the practice class in the Miss Robichaux, that she turned the butterflies or the flowers into blue and then turned them into like butterflies. So she has abilities to cascade or change the alternate form of something and give life to it. She's the only witch that could give birth to adamant objects and give them a purpose. She did that, and we even saw Michael did something similar to when he did the test of the anointings, where he changed the temperature of the room into like a different place. Like he alternate the entire space, and making the world or where he is was like a different place. So both of them look like they're drawing their powers from a different source. We know Michael drew his source from the devil himself because that's his dad. But Mallory, I believe that she's like the great granddaughter of Scavenge. That's what I believe. I think her bloodline, because she came from Scavenge, and her, like they said, her bloodline goes all the way down to Salem. I think she's the first or the second generation descendant of Scavenge, which will make perfect sense, because when we first got introduced to Tempus Infinitum, we didn't even know that. I think there's so many different magics of witches that exist. I think like that goes back to one of my questions. We need to get to a season where they show all the Supremes and what they're capable of. Because from what we've seen from Mallory, Mallory has the ability to not only recreate but alternate if someone's injured, and it's not even a healing factor. She just changed it back to like its youth. So she completely rewrites how a witch should be. And the timeline, because of the timeline, how things are changed now, and how I still believe she remembers everything, but everyone around her don't. And she's able to be the only Supreme that could give her power to another Supreme back without dying. I think that's what happened. She gave Cordelia her Supreme powers back and revert back to a regular witch. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this is possible? And check out all these 3 characters. And this was the finale, guys. I cannot wait to see you guys for season 2, which will be coming very soon, actually. See you guys soon. Okay, guys? Bye-bye.